Hello, everybody. Welcome again to Astrologic Astrology, the astrology of I Am. I'm Lorenzo Sanford, your host, and as usual, we're bringing you insight, information, and inspiration from the cosmos. This is our weekly snapshot of the sky, and this week we have Mars squaring the Sun, and we have Venus conjunct Saturn. A challenging week if there ever was one, but it's just a week. The Sun in Aquarius is conflicting with Mars in Taurus this week. And so we have two fixed planets that are clashing. The Mars in Taurus wants to go about its business, and it wants to not be impeded by anyone. It wants to plod along. It wants to achieve the things that are important to it. And it's getting in the way of the sense of authority that the Sun is presenting. That means that you have to be careful this week that you do not clash with the people who are in charge. And you have to be careful that you don't get your ego too involved in anything, because there's plenty of ego energy around, and we don't want you to feel like you have to have anything that you feel like is at stake, because Mars is saying, I want it now, I want it my way. And the Sun is saying, but nope, there are things that you have to adhere to. There are rules, there are policies. You have to understand that you're not in this world alone, and we're not going to let you just have your way. And both sides are right, and yet both sides are at cross purposes to each other. And so we have to understand that there may just be conflict this week, conflict based around differing intentions and differing purposes. And it's okay. Everything is not always going to be flowing and easy. And so if you find yourself being on either side of the equation, whether you're the one who is in a groove, Mars and Taurus wants to be settled and wants to do things according to the path that it has set out and that it has been plodding along and doing quite well, thank you, without any interruptions. And the Sun is saying, nope, redo that, look at that again. Understand that there's something else that you have to consider. And so if that, no matter what side of the equation of that you're on, it's okay. It's not a big deal if you have to look at something again, or if someone challenges the way you're doing it, just look at it. You don't have to respond in a way that says, I'm an expert. I'm the person who designed this. I'm the person who did this. I, Mars. And the Sun is saying, yes, but this is what needs to be. This is what's at stake. And you cannot have the sense of I, because it's just not appropriate. It's okay for a day. It's okay for a few days to have these conflicts. I don't want you to feel that if you have these challenges, you are being besieged. However, do take a few breaths this week, because there is high energy and it's going around everywhere. So just take a few breaths. That's all. Just take a few breaths and understand that this energy sometimes comes and it will go soon. And yes, if you feel that someone is coming to you and pushing your buttons, it is what it is. It may be something that has nothing to do with you, just may be someone else's irritation, or you may be irritated, and you may have to come back and later address that. Just take a few deep breaths and understand that it's not necessary to react to everything. You certainly don't want to create reasons to come back next week and say, I didn't mean to get hot-headed or whatever. But that's the energy that's of this week, particularly the beginning of the week, where stubborn intentions clash. It happens sometimes. The second big aspect this week is Venus conjunct Saturn in Aquarius. So it's a week when love is going to be forced to accept boundaries. Venus in Aquarius wants to be free and wants to float and wants to interact with a lot of different people and connect with different groups and different organizations. And it wants to socialize in a big way and not have any sense of limitation. And so you may want to go out and talk and meet and greet and have some fun, have some drinks. But there's responsibilities that you have to attend to. And Saturn is representing those responsibilities. And so there may be something in your environment that forces you to pull back. There may be issues in relationships that you didn't fully anticipate or didn't fully appreciate that you now have to have a sober reassessment about. And I think that's the best way to understand Venus and Saturn. A sober reassessment of your relationships and the way you interact with the people closest to you. And it's not a bad thing. It's something that we all need from time to time. And if you allow yourself to think about who you are and what your place is and what you are doing in any situation that you're involved in, and separate yourself from what someone else is doing and what they want and what their goals are, then it's a good period if you can have a sober reflection of who you are versus what the needs are and responsibilities of any other circumstance with any other person. There are times when we need to pull back. There are times when we need to address, am I living according to my own standards or am I living according to someone else's standards? Or is someone putting undue pressure on me? Or do I need to reconsider that there's some other structures, other purposes that I can put in place by coming back and making other decisions? It's a time of sober reflection, and that's all. If you do it and you do it willingly, then you are able to move forward with more purpose. You have a plan. It's a good time for making plans that you want to see realized later. It's a new beginning in your commitments, because Venus and Saturn together represent a time when you can renew serious commitments. But they are, the emphasis here is serious. You have to take things, as I said, soberly. You have to look at them in the most practical way, in the most enduring way that you possibly can. So it may not be light, it may not be the funnest time, but it's a time when you can set really strong intentions, make really strong commitments, and have the inner fortitude to see them through, because you're deciding in a time when there are energies saying, let's see what a real commitment looks like. Now, the only other thing that you need to be aware of is that sometimes Venus and Saturn coming together can be and bring about endings in relationships. But if that happens, it was necessary. It was something that the ending was something that was coming, and it was just time that it actually take place. So if you are experiencing an ending in a relationship, just know that it's opening up space for you in your head and in your heart so that you can create a more sustainable, a more enduring connection, first with yourself and then with someone else. So, as in life, we have to accept that everything is not always rosy, and sometimes we have to experience challenges and difficulties. And Venus conjunct Saturn in Aquarius may be, not definitely, maybe a time when you have to experience an ending. And as difficult as it may be, it is still purposed for you to grow. And I hope that you can breathe through it and understand that it's all a part of cycles. We all live through these cycles, and sometimes we have to deal with things that are less than pleasant. So These are general energies that are affecting all of us. And of course, you would want to have your horoscope looked at by a competent astrologer and let that person help you understand where and how these energies are affecting you personally. So I don't want anyone to feel that that you're going to necessarily be facing the more challenging aspects, but it is a sober time. And this week is a time when you can really come to clarity. And I think that's a good thing. So use the clarity to come inside yourself and understanding who you are, how you fit into whatever relationships are important to your life, and then use that clarity to move forward. Thank you for sharing with us this week. As always, we wish you love and peace, and we look forward to sharing with you on our next snapshot of the sky. Namaste.